Is non-existence true of the world or existence true? Is this Jagat really asatya, non-existent, or is this Jagat satya, existent? So he's saying, Kachana, for the most part, this world depends upon a duality, the duality of existence or non-existence. But for the one who sees the origin of the world as it really is with correct wisdom, there is no notion of non-existence in regard to the world. I will explain this to you. And for the one who sees the cessation of the world as it really is with correct wisdom, there is no notion of existence in regard to the world. Don't get lost in the complication of the words. It's actually very simple. When you are in the void, you come to a point where there are no thoughts, no sensations, nothing. A moment comes when there is no breath. You forget that you are existing. You forget that there is a body. Yes? I'm talking about that pure void, okay? I'm not talking about just a quiet mind. We've left quiet mind behind long ago. Yes, we are talking about the complete void. When you are in this complete void, it is like darkness. There's just darkness in this void. Absolutely calm, absolutely quiet, absolutely peaceful. In this, after being in that absolute void, the first thought arises. And how does that first thought arise? In the form of a sensation. First, there is a sensation in the body. Yes, and then there is that first thought that arises. That thought takes a form. So that lightning behind me that you can see, that is that first thought taking its form in that void. That is the origin of your world. What Buddha is explaining here, we are all in our own worlds, each one of us. And from that void, the first thought arises. From those thoughts, desires and cravings and all those arise, and then this world opens up. That's how the world originates. And you experience this every morning. But we are so unaware, we do not recognize this happening. Yeah? This same world ceases every night, every single night. But we are so unaware, we are so lost in this world that we go from a worrying, open-eyed mind directly into deep sleep. And we are totally lights off. We don't understand the transition because we are not aware enough. Actually, we are not interested enough. For the one who gets interested, he can recognize this origin early in the morning and the cessation every night. The second example where Buddha said, if you were not able to do this, see it every morning and every night, just by listening to the words of the saints, the second way is to attain cessation, which is jhana 9. When you learn the jhanas, 8 jhanas are equivalent to the 8 dhyanas that came from the Rig Veda. They were taught to the Buddha. Buddha said, my craving did not go by this. I am just in the witness, so what? I can be in this witness, and at the same time I can notice so many thoughts in my mind, so much emotion. My craving has not gone, my aversion has not gone. So there has to be more. There has to be an understanding which is lacking. And he came up with jhana 9, where complete cessation happens. You can write down what the cessation is of. The cessation is of perception, feeling, and consciousness. Yeah? So it is cessation of Vijnana, which is consciousness, Sanya, which is perception, and Vedana, which is feeling. This is possible only when you stay in the void for a long time. You become very comfortable with the silence of the void. And you are in the void, just there, quiet, no sensation, no thought, no mind, absolutely nothing there, and blip, you're gone. There is a complete cessation happening of Vijnana, Sanya, and Vedana. Consciousness, perception, and feeling. And then you come out of it. This, Buddha said, is the second way. The first way is obviously it happens every morning and every night. But those people who have not reached that kind of sharp awareness with open-eyed daily routine and need a second gateway, this is their second gateway. Through reaching jhana 9, they will experience exactly the same cessation. Now is your key. When you come out of your cessation, there you see the first thought arise. And when you see that first thought arise, then you recognize, oh, this is the origin. This is how my world begins. I only know my world. Yeah? Jayashri only knows her world. Lydia only knows her world. Yeah? Sriram only knows his world. Everybody has his or her personal world. This is how my world originates. Yeah? So, he gave us two. One, either through waking up in the morning and going to bed in the night. That is Advaita way. You figure it out on your own. You become so aware in your daily open-eyed routine. Yeah. If you cannot do it, then attain samadhis all the way to jhana 9. You attain cessation in jhanas, being completely aware and recognize this absolute blip, the end, and then coming back, and then you understand the true meaning of what all scriptures are explaining. Right now, it is just theory for the people who have not experienced cessation. Yes. And that's fine. You know where this path is taking me towards. But again, big warning, do not get into the craving of having a cessation. It will happen when it happens. You just become comfortable with the void. Become absolutely comfortable in that silence. Make silence your best friend. Yeah? When you're struggling in that silence and struggling, you're not comfortable yet. Yeah? Like when you learn to swim, some of us keep struggling in that water. Do you remember that? If you learned swimming, you remember those early days, you kept struggling in the water. You had to struggle a lot to stay afloat. And then a point came when now it's very easy for you to just float on the water. Yeah? You have to become that comfortable with the void to be able to see this. And when you see this, then it becomes your firm understanding. It becomes your firm understanding that this world arises and it falls. It arises and it falls. So this lightning behind me is just a symbol, an example to show you that's how the first thought arises in you. And then it falls away. Another thought arises and it falls away. Another thought arises, it falls away, and then that's how the gushing thoughts come up. You go into a dreaming state in the morning. And then, before you open your eyes, yeah, provided you have a good eyesight, a good eye that works, even before you open, there is an inner tan matra that we learned in Yoga Vashishta, an inner, I don't want to say inner eye because then you start imagining magical eyes inside. There are no magical eyes, but there's this inner sense of seeing that kind of, there's a sensation that I want to now open my eyes. So there is this inner tanmatra that works first. The eye opens, so you require an eye, you require your object. Maybe it is your ceiling because you're lying on your bed. That's what you see first. The eye consciousness comes up when the eye comes into contact with the color and form. Yes. And your world arises. That world plays for a few hours, and every night the fading happens of the eye consciousness first, and then the world fades away. We have all studied this in the previous suttas. It's not totally new what I'm telling you. Yeah. First, the eye is required, and then there is a form, and then the eye consciousness comes up. The eye consciousness comes up, and then there is eye contact. You remember? We've learned this. With contact comes a feeling, either pleasant or unpleasant. If there's a pleasant feeling, there is clinging. Even in an unpleasant feeling, there is clinging. Aversion is clinging. You think more about what you're averse to. Yes? And that's how arising happens. So, the dependent causation that we have learned before, that applies to every single arising. I'll use only one word now for thought, sensation, and the world. They are nothing but arisings. Just like this lightning arises, it stays for a while and it falls off. Like that, it arises, the arising stays for a while and it falls off. That is all that really is happening. There are only individual phenomena arising and passing away. Arising and passing away. There is no I over there. I is also a thought. That also arises, holds on to something, clings, craves, wants it, doesn't want it, does its drama, and that also dies. So very simply, he is telling you that moment to moment to moment, every thought, every sensation, every situation in life, every person, everything is just an arising like this lightning, and it is falling. What he is saying is that everything is phenomena. Every single thing is a phenomena. And the translation of that word in Pali is Dhamma. So everything is Dhamma. So all those who are doing Satipatthana, when we come to the last leg, when we say Dhammanupashyana, what does he mean? Dhammanupashyana? Pashyana is to observe or recognize the Dhamma that is arising and falling. So this is what he is explaining to you. That you be a witness and you just observe that in this void that is me, there is just an arising and falling. It's a thought that arises and falls. It is another sensation in my body that arises and falls. And if I'm emotional about something, there's an emotion that arises and falls. Everything is just phenomena after phenomena after phenomena. All this phenomena ends at the end of the day. The world ceases to exist at the end of the day. Is this very clear? What does he mean by origin of the world and cessation of the world? Yeah? Super clear?